computer. So we will start with the prayers. ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः श्रीमेधादक्षिणामूर्तिस्वामिने नमः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Namaste all of you once again. Okay, so we were seeing the 9th shloka in the last class. If you recall, in the 8th shloka, Adi Shankara said, Jaganti. That means he was referring to the Adhyasa which is there in the all the 14 lokas that was referred to. Now here in the 9th shloka, he is now giving a different perspective from the Vyashti standpoint, individual standpoint. Because when we talk of the the worlds, our experience is that each world is comprised of so many individuals. At least if we have not seen the other worlds, at least our world, so many individual beings we are experiencing, isn't it? Variety of people, variety of things, variety of living beings, variety of objects. So he is now wanting to convey that even here, what is pervading everything is only that Satchidananda Atma. That is what he wants to convey in this sloka. And that's why he says, Vyaktaya Vividha Sarvaha, all the various types of individuals, Satchidatmani Anusyute Nitye Vishnu Prakalpita hai. That is what he says in this, and then he gives an example. So, this is what we were seeing in the last class. So, when we are talking about Vyakti individual, we are talking about all three sharirams, the Sharira Trayam. Stula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, and Karana Shariram. We must understand that, right? And we all know that all these three, the Sharira Trayam is all Achetana, Jada Rupa. But what makes them sentient or Chetanam is what Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa is the reflected consciousness which is there in our Antakaranam, which gets reflected through our Antakaranam, basically the Manas. And then that Chidabhasa gives sentience or pervades all these three, Stula, Sukshma, and Karana Shariram. And that is how we say, I am living. So the role of the Chidabhasa, which is nothing but a reflection of the original consciousness, the original Satchit Ananda, that is being explained here by Acharya. And earlier he talked about Adhishthanam till 8th sloka, Adhishthanam of this entire world, entire cosmos. Now, here he is talking about the pervasion at the individual level also, right? So, Sachidatmani means Paramatmani, and Sat means the nature of existence. We all know that Chit is awareness or consciousness, the unborn Ajanya Chaitanyam. And then, of course, the Ananda is not talked about. Sachidatmani, he says. Sachidananda Atmani, he doesn't say, right? Because that is what is important so far as everything is concerned. Where Ananda is getting reflected only in the human birth. But here, when he is talking about Vyashti, he is talking about all beings in this universe. So, Sachid Atmani is a Sat and Chit only he talks about, right? And that Atma is Brahman. What is that Atma do? It is Anusyute. Anusyute means which is inherent, right? In and through everything. That is what is Anusyutam. Why Anusyutam? Go back, Adhishtanatvat. Because this Brahman or Atma is the Adhishtanam, it pervades everything, it is in and through everything. Example, the clay Adhishtanam pervades all the pots and all the earthen uh, pot material, rather. Whatever it is, a pot or plate or whatever we make out of the clay pervades everything, right? That is what is Anusyutam, right? Then he says Nitye. Nitya means what? This Adhishtanam is Nityam. It is permanent. It will never go away. The easiness doesn't go away at all, as we have seen so many examples, right? Whatever objects are there which are anityam, temporary in nature, it includes everything: people, objects, situation, both chetanam, achetanam. All these things have got a time bound existence. They have an appearance and then they disappear also. So, as compared to that, this Sachidatmani is nitya, permanent. It never goes away. The easiness of the object, even if the object is destroyed, easiness doesn't go away. The Nama Rupa may change, but the easiness continues to remain. So that is what he says, nitya, right? So, putting it another language, a karyam may go away, but karanam is nityam, karanam is permanent, right? This much we saw in the last class. Then he says Vishnu, Vishnu. The previous sloka he used what? Akiladare Parameshware. Here he is saying Vishnu. Maybe, I mean, he thought that, if I say Parameshware, people will think, oh, he is a Shaivite, Adi Shankara. So he is using Parameshwara. So he doesn't want to sort of be partial. Meaning is the same. Parameshwara and Vishnu. Parameshwara is what is all pervading, because here Vishnu is not the Shankha Chakra Gadadhari Vishnu. We can take it that also. But Vishnu is from Vish Vyapane. Right? Vyapane means all pervading. So he uses that Vishnu in order to bring a balance between the two systems, the Shaivite and the Vaishnavite system, right? Shiva and Vishnu rather, to avoid all sorts of controversies which may come later. We must have foreseen it, right? So all these things he says, what they are all kalpita, prakalpita. They are all sort of superimposition, imagined, right? Because even when you take Parameshwara or Vishnu, Shiva or Vishnu, they are all superimposition on what? On Brahma only. For puja purposes and all that, we may use, Jatadhari or Shankachakradhari and all that kind of, visualization. But at the end of the day, that also the Jatadhari or the Shankachakradhari, the in the core content of that also is what? Brahman only. And which Brahman is Nitya, and which Brahman is Vishnu, all pervading. That's how we have to understand, right? And through this, Adi Shankara is also doing one very important thing. He is trying to take us away from all these kind of imaginations which we have. Vishnu means this. Because as I told you, I don't know whether I told in this class, all this Shiva, Vishnu, and all, from where we get these imaginations. Some portion from Vedas. In fact, if you go to Rudram, the initial portion, that is the our what is called Lagunyasa, you get the visualization of Rudra. It starts from Atatmanam Shivatmanam Sri Rudra Rupam Dhyayet, and that the Rudra Rupam is described, isn't it? Shuddhaspatika Sankasham Trinetram Panjavaktrakam Gangadharam Dashabhujam Sarvabharana Bhushitam. All these explanations given so that we can visualize that Rudra Rupa before we chant the Rudra. But most importantly, all these, including the explanation in Puranas and all that, all this imagery has come from that only. They all belong to either the Karmakanda or the Puranas. So what Shankaracharya is trying to do here is he is trying to take us away from that visualizations. Because he understands the moment we say Vishnu, there will be Shankachakradhari and all that, we will imagine. He doesn't want us to do that. He says, you now come to Vedanta. Vedanta doesn't believe in all this, Nama Rupa. Vedanta takes you away from Nama Rupa to the Adhisthana, which is Brahman, which is the only truth, which is the only reality. So he is saying here, all these Rupas, Vishnu, what is it? He says they are all prakalpita hai. They are all imagination. They are all just superimposed upon that Brahman. Which Brahman? Nitya. Vishnu, all pervasive. That Brahman, these are all prakalpita hai. Right. So he is trying to dilute some of our vasanas which bring us to this kind of a nama rupa prapancha. Time whenever we hear a word, immediately a imagery comes in our mind because of our orientation. That is how we have been trained all along. That here Shankaracharya wants to take us away from this. That's all, right? So all this he says is temporary. Pujartam yat kalpitam tat aparadaya mam kshamaswam. This is a prayer which we say in the pujas. I have imagined you, Hey Shiva, Hey Vishnu, Hey Ganapathy, all for the sake of this puja. Whereas this is not your true identity. Your true identity is I understand as Brahman only. But for the sake of puja, since I require an alambanam, since I require an imagery for me to do puja, I have imagined you in this form. So please, pardon me. Kshamaswa. Mam Kshamaswa. Please pardon me. That is there in the pujas, rather. Right? And in fact, it says that I have sinned against you by doing this puja. These are all interesting things. In fact, Swami Paramatanda talks about all these things. Anyhow, because what we are doing in the puja, first we do avahanam, and then we do what? Yatasthanam pradishtabhayami. You may please go. Even Ganesh Chaturthi, we do all puja and all that 9 days, go and Visarjanam. So, a Bhagavan, a Brahman, which is Nitya, which is permanent, we are saying come and go. Actually, our body is the one which is come and go, isn't it? But then that is what we are doing by doing all these pujas and all that. So what Shankaracharya is saying, that not asking us not to do puja, but when you are doing the puja, just understand this, that you are doing all this for a particular purpose, and that is not the end all. As a upasana, you require a upasana murti. You can prakalpitam. You can imagine any upasana murti of your choice, your liking, and do the puja. But at the back of your mind, you must remember that Ishvara, that Paramatma, that Parameshwara, that Vishnu, that Brahman is permanent. You cannot ask him to come and go at your wish, will, and fancy. Right? That is what he is trying to point out here. Right? It seems that even in Kampa at one place, Kamban describes Rama as the adhishtanam of this entire Jagat, whole universe. Of course, I have not read it through. I have only read Kampa, but this is something which I have heard from one of the Acharyas. Rather. So he says that this whole world is adhyastham on Rama. In fact, we have seen Adhyatma Ramayana also. That is also the same message. The Rama of Valmiki Ramayana, the Ayodhya king Rama, the Sitapati Rama, the Dasharatha Nandana Rama, all these Rama is what we know about. When we say Rama, that is the image which comes in our mind. But both Adhyatma Ramayana, in one portion of Kampa Ramayana, Rama is described as the Adhishtanam of this entire Jagat. So there, the Brahma Swarupa, the Atma Swarupa of Rama is being talked about in those things. So in terms of the spiritual journey, what we need to understand, that even though you may start with Valmiki Ramayana or Kampa Ramayana or any other Tulsi Ramayana and all, after a particular stage, you must come to Adhyatma Ramayana. You must try to understand what is this Rama we are talking about in its true sense. Understanding Rama as Sachidananda Rama is very, very important goal of this spiritual journey of Vedanta, in fact. So all this Nama Rupa Jagat, including the Nama Rupa of Ishvara, we must understand that they are all prakalpitam, they are all imagination of poets and accomplished people, not imagination of you and me. Because we can also imagine, but we have been given these imaginary imageries by our poets and all that. So we must understand what they are meant for. That's all. So this Brahman, which is Adhyastam, which is the Adhishtanam, and the Prapancha, which is the Adhyastam, we have to understand, right? Like the Rajju Sarpa example that we have seen. So, Vishnu Rame Sachidananda Rupe Kalpita hai, Prakalpita hai. All these are superimposed. So, what are superimposed? Vivida Sarvaha Vyaktaya. All these Nama Rupas are superimposed. And as I told you, all varieties of Pashu, Pakshi, everything. Not only the human beings, we must imagine everything rather, right? So Nama Rupa Matram. And in fact, Chandogya Upanishad beautifully says, Vacharambanam Vikaro Namadeyam. Mrittika Ityeva Satyam. Beautiful sentence. Vacharambanam. All these names and forms are where? Vacharambanam, just in the form of our speech only. They are only Vacharambanam. They start with a name. Vacha, speech. Vikaro Namadeyam. They are all, undergoing change. So, what is only a name, Vacharambanam, and which is Anityam, Vikaro Namadeyam, because they all undergo change, including change in the form of existence and destroyal. Mritika eva satyam, only the clay. And this is with reference to the clay and pot example, which is there in Chandogya Upanishad. Clay is the only satyam. That is what Chandogya Upanishad also says there. The same idea he is bringing here. And for this, he gives an example of Hatake Katakadivat. Hatakam means gold. Okay, gold. And Katakam means the ornaments. All different types of ornaments are called Katakam. So Hatake Katakadivat means like the ornaments and gold. Right? What are they? The ornaments, existence of the ornaments are in gold only. Gold is the adhishtanam for all the ornaments. Ornaments may come and go, but gold will always be there. Today you are having a necklace. Now it is, you are used to it, you are used to it. So now you want a different kind of ornament now. You want to convert that necklace into, say, a set of bangles. So you go to the jeweler, Tattan. Tell him that you please remove this shape and form of this necklace, name and form of this necklace, and give this a new form of a bangle. Name and form of a bangle. So he will do it. But in the entire process, whether as a necklace or whether as a bangle, what is sustained continuously is the gold. Gold doesn't change. Similarly, he says, in all these prakalpita prapancha, this world which is, uh, 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 imagination, which is nothing but Vacharambanam Vikaro Namadeyam, this gold in the case of ornaments is always there permanently. Similarly, Brahman is permanently there, always there. The Sachidatmani is always there. That is what he is trying to explain through this example. And just like gold pervades, we can say gold anusyute all abharanani. Right? The gold is in and through all the ornaments. It pervades all the ornaments. Similarly, Sachidatmani Anusyute, what? All these, Prakalpita Prapancha. That is the example that he is given. Golden ornaments, and all these Nama Rupas are all what? They are superimposed on that Brahman. So this he is thus actually demonstrating the relationship between Adhyastam and Adhishtanam. What is the Adhishtanam? The foundation of this entire universe, and what is superimposed on that. That is what he is conveying in this particular sloka. Okay. Now we will see the next sloka. 1 minute. So I will read, you can repeat. यथाकाशो ऋषिकेशो नानोपाधिगतो विभुः तद्भेदाद्भिन्नवद्भाति तन्नाशे केवलो भवेत्. Now, till now, Adi Shankara has talked about what? The primary adhyasa. What is primary adhyasa? You all remember? We talked about that only 2-3 classes ago. I hope you remember primary adhyasa and secondary adhyasa. If you don't remember, please refer to the previous notes which you might have taken. Okay. So this now he is coming to the secondary adhyasa. So first we saw the Srishti, Srishti, this what is the Srishti process. The Chetana Achetanatmaka Srishti Prapancha, the Prapancha Srishti we saw, right? So that is the Achetana Prapancha is superimposed on the Chetana Prapancha. That is what we saw. And also that this Chidabhasa is there, and this our Shariram is Chidabhasa Yukta Shariram. Dehadvaya Yuta Chitihi, the Vidyaranya Swami says in Panchadashi. Right. So these two bodies, this Stula and Sukshma Shariram, as well as the Chidabhasam, both have been dealt with in the Prathamika Adhyasa. Now we are going into the secondary Adhyasa. And what is that? The secondary Adhyasa, if you remember, was Anyonya Adhyasa. The confusion between Adhyastha Anatma, the Srishta Anatma, and the Srishti Karta Aham Brahma, whereby the properties of the Achetana Shariram, we have to be careful, it is Achetana Shariram only the confusion. We don't actually superimpose the Nama Rupa of a wall, Nama Rupa of a timepiece, Nama Rupa of a table on us, isn't it? We don't say I am the table and I am the computer and all that. We don't say that. There is no confusion there. There is no adhyasa there. Adhyasa problem comes only with respect to our body-mind complex. So what is that adhyasa, secondary adhyasa, visa, anyonya adhyasa? We are superimposing all the properties of this Shariratrayam on us, on our original self, which is the Atma. And the reality of this Atma, we are actually superimposing it on the Shariratrayam. And in this process, the great Maya's great Avarana Shakti clouds our thinking, our understanding, deludes us. And then what it does, it makes us not see our original Swarupa, but instead it sees us as our this Anatma Shariram as real, as the truth. That is the mischief being done by this Avarana Shakti of Maya. All this we have seen in the earlier slokas, right? So here, what he is Adi Shankara is pointing out is this Anyonya Adhyasa, right? The Anyonya Tadatmya, we can call it, right? So since I take the attributes or the properties of the Anatma and superimpose them on myself, like the attributes like Jayate, Vardhate, Viparinamate, Nashyate, Vinashyati, Karta, Bhokta, all these belong to this Anatma, this Sharira. All these I am superimposing upon myself. And I am saying, I am Aham Karta, Aham Bhokta, I am a doer, I am an experiencer, I am born, I am growing, I am becoming old, and I will die. You can't say I am dead, isn't it? You can maximum say I am dying. In Tamil they say, no, yo amma uyir porde. Uyir porde means my I am dying. So that is what is happening. So we are giving the reality of our true self to this entire Anatma Prapancha, especially our three Sharirams. And then we say that I am this, I am that. Actually, the name given to us is the name for this body when we are born, isn't it? That is why Jati comes. Jati means what? From Jan Dhatu, be born. Jati means born. So if you are born in a particular family, the name of the family is given to you. What is born? Only your body mind complex is born. So the name belongs to the body mind complex. But what happens when you are asked to introduce yourself? Say, I am so and so and so. Without realizing that I is different, that so and so is different. We don't realize that. We get confused because of this Avarna Shakti of this Maya. Right? So I am the Upahitam. I am the Upahita Chaitanyam Chidabhasa Sahita Chaitanyam, which is giving all these attributes called Upadhihi, and that which receives the attributes is called Upahitam. So I, as Upahitam Atma, is receiving all the attributes of this Upadhi, and then the Upadhis become real. Okay. And we have seen the examples earlier also, this colorless crystal and the crystal which is a red flower which is kept near the colorless crystal. The crystal actually assumes the color of the flower which is kept very nearby, right? So the color of the flower is transferred to the crystal. Similarly, the properties or attributes of this body, this Sharira Trayam, is transferred to the Atma, and Anyonya Adhyasa takes place, and that is why this confusion is there, right? So, there in that example, the flower was called Upadhi, and the crystal was called Upahita, the one which is actually taking the attributes of the Upadhi, right? Crystal was Upahita. And we must understand this relationship between this Upadhi and Upahitam very, very carefully. That's why I gave the example of wall and clock and all that. Why we do not take the properties of the clock or wall as our property is because of one reason. There is no nearness. So, for a relationship of a Upadhi and Upahitam to be defined, there are three conditions which are to be satisfied. The definition of Upadhi given in the Shastra is Samipe Stitva Adhiyate Swiyan Dharman Adhiyate Swiyan Dharman iti Upadhihi. Right? Samipe Stitva Adhiyate Swiyan Dharman iti Upadhihi. So Upadhi, in that Upa means what? Upa means Samipe. We all know that. Upanishad itself, we have seen the meaning in the beginning of Kathopanishad. What is Upanishad? Upa Samipe. So that's the meaning of Upa, near, very near. So first condition for this transference to take place is the Upadhi and the Upahitam must be very close to each other. First condition. So Samipe Stitva means being nearby, being very close by. Adhiyate means transfers, superimposes, gives, lends its attributes. What does it give? Swiyan Dharman. Swiyan Dharman means one's own attributes, one's own properties. So a thing which is being very close by to another thing transfers or gives its own properties to the other thing is called a upadhi. So for Atma, what is the upadhi? The Sharira, all individual bodies are upadhis for Atma, isn't it? And each body has got its own attributes. So each person he actually superimposes his own personal attributes to Atma. So it doesn't stop just by saying, I am born and I am dying, or I am this, my name is this, and all that, including all types of attributes which are there in the upadhi are transferred, right? Because different people will have different attributes and different properties. Some may have health problems, they will superimpose, those people will superimpose all their health problems onto Atma. Like a person who is tall superimposes his tallness of the body to the Atma and say, I am tall. Somebody who is blind, blind means what? He can't see, challenged eyesight. But what he will say, I am blind. Superimposing his personal attribute, which is only unique to him, which other people will not do. You and me will not say, I am blind, isn't it? Even though we may say half blind because of this. But he will say, I am blind or I am lame. All these, not only the general, transference take place, but each one at individual level, this transference takes place. That is what we have to understand. That is all being, pointed out by Acharya here, right? And the same thing happens even in the, in the dream, isn't it? We are doing just that only, the transference only in the dream. This, just imagine the dream procedure. The sleep has got Vikshepa Shakti. That we have seen in the earlier class, right? Nidra Shakti is at the Vyashti level, Maya Shakti at the Samashti level. We have got the Nidra Shakti, which induces sleep. Same thing as what Maya does. Right? Both Vikshepa Shakti, Avarana Shakti is there in Nidra Shakti also. So Vikshepa Shakti, when we go to sleep, this Vikshepa Shakti of this Nidra, this what it does? It projects the dream in our mind screen. Because the mind you, has not gone to sleep. Mind is still active in the dream stage. And from where it is coming? All these images we see in the dream are coming from the mind only. It is not that somebody else outside is projecting. It is all we are only projecting. So this Vikshepa Shakti is there in the dream sequence. So we create this whole Swapna Prapancha with that. And then we assume a special Swapna body also, Swapna Sharira. And that is a special body. Many times we will not be seeing a mirror in the dream, so that we will not know how that body looks, but we are aware that there is a body, because that body interacts with everything else in the Swapna Prapancha. It will also, in the Swapna Prapancha also, that body will sleep and wake up, that body will travel, that body will take bath, that body even will go for toilet, everything you will see in the Swapna Prapancha. And always the way we will understand the Swapna Prapancha is, I am doing all those things. So the Vikshepa Shakti created the Prapancha, but the Avarana Shakti of this Nidra Shakti actually makes us believe that we are doing that. Even though we are actually lying down in the bed, we means the waker body is lying down in the bed with the eyes closed. He's not doing anything. Whereas when in the dream, that Avarana Shakti makes us believe that we are doing it. And that happens so close that something which is happening in the Swapna Prapancha disturbs us, disturbs the waker who is sleeping. That is the closeness. So there is again a transference there happening. And then suddenly we may wake up, oh my God, something has happened. So that happens, we experience this in the Swapna Prapancha very much for us to understand how this superimposition happens. Right. So there is a confusion between the waker body and the dream body. The dream body is taken as real as the waker's body. We take the attributes of the dream body as our own attributes. And all because of this Avarana Shakti of this Nidra. So suppose let us just go one step ahead. We remove this Avarana Shakti from the Nidra. Only Vikshepa Shakti is there. What will happen? Can you imagine? We won't wake up at all. We'll just keep on enjoying the dream. That's what will happen. Okay. So these upadhis, all these examples I gave you just to make you understand that how these upadhis are superimposed even without our realizing. We don't even all happens because of what? Starting point, ignorance. Ignorance of the truth, ignorance of the reality, ignorance of the fact that aham brahmasmi, aham shariram na asmi, shariratrayam na asmi, aham brahmasmi. This, we are ignorant of this fact. And that is why all these things are happening. This, upadhi, transfer of this upadhi, and me taking myself as the properties of the upadhi, all these things are happening. And Adi Shankara gives example of akasha, space. So we will see that. I think we have not seen the word meanings, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, we'll see that. Yatakasha hai, just like akasha, space. Rishikesha hai. Rishikesha hai is a name of Atma also. Rishikesha word has got so many meanings. Different meanings are there. In fact, it's a word very commonly used in Bhagavad Gita. Right. Bhagavan Krishna addresses Arjuna as Rishikesha. Rishikesha. Right. And as I told you in one of the books, I found a very, very interesting interpretation of Rishikesha for Arjuna. Rishi means short, Kesha means hair. So in that book, Rishikesha was translated as the one with the short hair. Wonderful, which is a very, very interesting thing I came across. So what he says is, because the Mahabharata was fought in the plains of Kurukshetra, and there were a lot of dust and all that, in order for his hair not to be getting tangled and all, Arjuna had short hair. So he is referred to by Krishna as Rishikesha. Actually, from a Sanskrit point of view, Rishikanam Ishaha. Rishikanam means all our sense organs. All of the one who lords over the sense organs, who manages, who controls, who keep them under check, is Rishikesha. That for that this was the way the translation was. That's why even when we read many texts, many translations, and all that, we have to be very careful. Unless we know or we have learnt things from a guru who is a qualified guru, a Shrotriya Brahmanishta, you can be misled by all these kind of things. In the other class, I was giving an example of Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Mamekam Sharanam Raja. There, one author has interpreted the word Dharman as religion. And he translated that, give up all your religions and come and seek refuge in me. Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Now, he has not applied his mind to think that when Mahabharata war was fought, which was 5,000 years ago, what religions were there in the world? And was Arjuna thinking of joining some, converting himself to some other religion or what? So Krishna is telling him, give up all your religions and come and surrender to me. This is the problem. People will do translation of these scriptures by referring to some dictionary. The dictionary will give 10 meanings. Dharma means it will say so many things. Then they will pick up one meaning, religion, because today that is relevant. Today we say Hindu Dharma, means what? Hindu religion. That is relevant. So they will take that meaning religion and put it, and then without thinking they will give it, publish the book and sell it also. So when you read, we have to be very careful what is being given. That is why it's always said, never ever study Vedanta on your own. Already Vedanta is confusing. If you study on your own, you will be a complete confusion. So go to a guru who will be able to explain to you what is being meant. And that guru also should have found, a Sampradaya guru who is come in the Guru Parampara. Not a guru who has also done self-study and then he becomes a guru and then he tells everybody what he has understood. Not that kind of a guru. So all these things, that is why they are very important. And these are stressed right from the Upanishads itself. So as I was saying, Rishikesha is the name of the Atma, name of Atma. So here Adi Shankara is using all Saguna names to describe the Atma. And the subtle point he says is that there is no difference between Saguna and Nirguna. Saguna is nothing but the name and form which you are giving to Nirguna. That's all. In and through all Saguna, Nirguna only is pervading. That is what the message he wants to give, right? So Rishikanam, Indriyanam, Ishaha, Rishikesha, right? The Indriya Adhipati is a Rishikesha. So what is the nature of the Atma? He says Vibhuhu. Vibhuhu means all pervading. Another, same thing like Vishnu, all pervading. Vibhuhu uses a different word. So this Vibhuhu Atma Aham, am associated with this Nana Upadhigataha. Nana Upadhigataha means so many sharirams. Nana Upadhi, varieties of Sharirams. And therefore, since I am pervading, I am available in every Shariram. Right? And as Krishna says, Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. In all kshetras, in all sharirams, in all these upadhis, kshetrajnam cha api mam vidhi, may you know, I am the kshetrajnam, I am the Lord, I am the adhishtanam sitting in all these kshetras. That is what he says in Bhagavad Gita. The same idea is being conveyed here also. So, I am in every upadhi, I am in every stula sukshma shariram, I am there as Chit, Adhishtanam of everything, Chidabhasa. So, Chidabhasa Sahita Sharira Yoho Adhishtanam Aham. That's what he says. And the Sharirams are unlimited. No, Sharirams are limited. Chidabhasa is also limited. Shariram travels. Chidabhasa travels. But I, the Chit, the Adhishtanam, do not travel. And this I, the Chit I, original consciousness, has no appearance, no nama rupa, and no disappearance also. Right? So all these things are not there. Whatever nama rupa we are saying, not there. But what happens? I also seem to travel. Because I take the attributes of the upadhi shariram onto me. That's what happens. And because this upadhi bhedat, because of these differences between the plurality in the adhyastha prapancha, the adhishtanam I also appear to be pluralistic. And because of the differences among the adhishtana shariram, I, the adhyastha shariram appears to be different from all other sharirams. Right? So the first superimposition was the upadhi has got duality. So I also become dualistic. That means other than me, there are so many other people who are there. And then having created this division, I go on talking about the divisions. As I told you, the jati beda hai we talk about. That's all upadhi beda only. Jati beda, kula beda, varna beda hai, linga beda hai, right? Stri linga, pullinga. Aham purusha hai, sa stri. Aham panguhu, aham andha. All these upadhi vedas I am taking on to myself. Every individual upadhi is doing this, right? So all these are just upadhi vedas, and like what Mandukya Upanishad says, na antapragyam na bahipragyam na ubayata hai shantam shivam advaitam turiye mayi etat sarvam bhati. I am neither inside nor outside. I am pervading everything. I am of the nature of Shantam. I am the fourth one, Turiyam. Not the Sariratrayam, but the fourth one. The fourth one is not something extra. The fourth one is that which is in and through all the three. That is the fourth one. You must not imagine when Turiyam is a very dangerous word. Turiyam is fourth in Sanskrit. But fourth means we should not imagine that other than the three bodies, there is something which is extra, and that is what has led to a lot of people thinking that transcendental meditation. I have to reach Atma. I have to understand Atma. I have to transcend all the three bodies. All these things, kind of things, have all come into place because of misunderstanding of what the Upanishad is saying. That literally taking Turiyam as the fourth and understanding that there is a fourth entity other than these three entities. In fact, Upanishad said these three entities don't exist at all. There's only the fourth entity which is existing, isn't it? Only the Brahman is there, Atma is there. All these three are all only nama rupa, they are appearances. They are mithya. That is what they say, but they forget this. They ignore these kind of messages which the Upanishads give rather, and they get into all these kind of problems. So what says Upadhi nashe sati? What will I become? Kevala, Kevalah bhavet. Once these upadhis are all destroyed, what will remain? I only will remain, because I am the one which is the adhishtanam of this upadhi, isn't it? Here, destruction of upadhi, we must not think that they are physically destroyed. It is cognitively destroyed. You transcend the upadhis and then understand that I am Atma, Aham Brahman. And Kevalaha Bhavet, I am only the one which is left. Right? So, earlier we said Tannase Kevalo Bhavet. Here the same thing is saying Kevalaha Bhavet. Right? So, this is how we have to understand. We have to change our vision about ourselves, about this entire prapancha, and then just like, coming to the example, whenever we are talking about Akasha, he takes the Akasha example here to point out or illustrate how this Atma is pervading everything. Now we have got lot of pots and vessels and all that, and there is a space inside everything. We call it pot space, Ghatakasha, right? We have also seen Hridayakasha, right? So there's Akasha, space within every vessel or a pot. Now, whenever we are referring to that, what we are saying is pot space. But actually, is there a separate space within the pot other than the space in general? No. Pot space is nothing but a name and form we have given to the general space, because that space is occupying a particular shape of a pot. When the pot space goes away, when the pot goes away or destroyed, what happens to the pot space? Does it go and join the other space? No, it remains there only, except that the pot shape, Dama Rupa pot has gone. Space is one and the same only. So what is a Ghatakasha? Ghatakasha is nothing but a name and form we are giving to the space, to Akasha. There is no separate Ghatakasha. Ghatakasha is not separate from the, what is that, Akasha. So this example Adi Shankara is giving, that whenever we are talking about all these upadhis, all these individual Vedas, we must understand that when these Vedas are cognitively removed, when all these upadhis are cognitively destroyed in our intellect, what will be remaining? Kevalaha bhavet, only that Atma will remain. This is the example he is giving, right? And in fact, even in Puranas, I don't remember, Tripuram, Shiva destroys this Tripuram, right? Which is what? This Tripuram is nothing but Upadhi Trayam. I don't remember that exactly, it just came in my mind, right? So what he does, he with his Jnana Drishti, he destroys the Tripuram. Similarly, we also should remove this Avarana Shakti cognitively, and then we understand that the essence of these upadhis, once we understand, then we will not give too much importance to these upadhis, these nama rupas. We will be directly approaching the real nature of all the atmas. Once we understand that very well, assimilate that understanding, is what is Sarvatma Bhava, which is being talked about by Lord Krishna throughout Bhagavad Gita. That Sarvatma Bhava is what a Jnani has. He sees Everything, every different type of individuals has the same Atma only. No difference. Difference is there at the Upadhi level. He ignores, he knows Upadhi is Mithya. That's the difference between a Jnani and a Jnani like us. Right? So Mithya division cannot affect the Satyam Atma. And you can ignore the Mithya division because it doesn't exist. It only appears. It doesn't exist like a, the rabbit of a magician. It appears, but that rabbit doesn't exist. Only magician knows that. We don't know when we are seeing the rabbit coming out of a hat, right? So that is why he is saying that yata akasha, that akasha which is vibhuhu, which is all pervading, which is vyapaka. So just as the all pervading akasha cannot be divided by any number of pots or walls. So I mean, I gave the example of pot space, room space, kitchen space. Are they separate spaces? They are not. These spaces have got the names because of the room space. Mean 4 walls we have built and we call it a room space. Otherwise, before the walls were there was no room space. After the walls will be destroyed, there won't be any room space. There will be only space. So similarly, all these upadhis are creating all these apparent divisions in the Atma. There is no division in the Atma. Right? So yata akasha parichinna iva bhati, यथार्थः न परिच्छिन्नः पूर्णः एव तथा उपाधि भेदात् अहम भिन्नोन्न भवामि इत्यर्थः. Just like one space appears to be divided into pot space, room space, kitchen space, bathroom space, and different types of spaces. But in reality, there is no such divisions in space. Similarly, even though different upadhis are appearing, in essence, there is no difference in Atma. There is only one Atma, like there is only one space. This is the message of this particular sloka. We will continue in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all. Any questions? Vika, now question. என்ன சரியா கேட்கல ஏனோ there is a lot of disturbance. சரியா இல்ல அன்மியூட் பண்ணிருக்கேளா? யாரு கோபாலகிருஷ்ண மாமாவா? கேட்கல. Some problem with your system mic. Not at all clear. ஏனோ கீச் மூச்சு சத்தம் வருது அவ்வளவுதான். நீங்க தான் லாஸ்ட் டைம் பண்ணின மாதிரி உங்க கம்ப்யூட்டரை நீங்க வந்து இது பண்ணணும். அதான் இந்த ஜூமை வந்து யூ ஹேவ் டு ரிஃப்ரெஷ். அதை பண்ணி பாருங்க ஒரு வேலை. அப்போ வேலை பண்ணும். Or Ramanji, how are you?
Okay, fine.
Good.
Going well.
Good. Diwali la nana acha.
Aja.
Good.
As usual.
As usual.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. ராஜி எப்படி இருக்கா? ராஜி எல்லாம்
Oh, Raji is all fine. Amma also fine. All
ஓகே குட்.
doing as usual. போயிட்டு இருக்கு. எல்லாரும் அவ ஆக்டிவிட்டீஸ்ல பிஸியா இருக்கா.
ஆமா ஆமா கரெக்ட். ஆமா
அம்மாக்கு தான் கொஞ்சம் போர் அடிக்கிறது. ஏன்னா யாரும் பேசுறதுக்கு ஜாஸ்தி இல்லை. எங்க மூஞ்சியே பாத்துக்க வேண்டியிருக்கு.
கொரோனா யாரும் வர மாட்டா, மூஞ்சி
கரோனால யாரும் வரவும் மாட்டா.
ஓகே குட்.
சரி ரைட்.
நமஸ்காரம். பாய்.
நமஸ்காரம். பாய். டேக் கேர். என்ன மாமா கோபாலகிருஷ்ணன் மாமா சரியா?
சரியா இல்ல, கிளியரா கேட்கல.
நான் கேட்கல சரியா. நான் பார்க்கலாம். நீங்க ஏதாவது இம்பார்ட்டன்ட்னா மெசேஜ் அனுப்புங்க. ஓகே
ஓகே மாமா. நமஸ்காரம்.
நமஸ்காரம். ஓகே
நமஸ்காரம். நமஸ்காரம்.
நம்ம வெள்ளிக்கிழமை பார்ப்போம். இன்னைக்கு
ஓகே.
ஹரியோம்.
ஹரியோம்.
தேங்க்யூ. பாய்.
ஹரியோம். தேங்க்யூ.
ஹரியோம். தேங்க்யூ.